We are on the air. Pops, what time is it?
It's Chomp time!
It is Chomp time indeed. I am Mike. That is Pops. This is the Chomp Time Podcast. This is episode 11, which I have dubbed A-Hole All-Americans.
Are we on that
A-Hole...
list?
Oh, A-Hole All-Americans is episode 11. We get to be trolls a little bit today, Pops. We're going to go after four each, each Mount Rushmore of our people associated with college football in any capacity that annoy us the most, piss us off the most, that we despise the most. We're going to go after these people today. And like you just said, people throughout our lives would probably say that we ourselves are in the A-Hole Hall of Fame,
Top
if
10.
possible.
Top 10.
So, while we are throwing stones at other people, we are well aware that we live in glass houses ourselves. Now, real quickly, Pops, I'm wearing a little Hawaiian shirt today
Yeah.
because while the vacation of the Florida Gators on a bye week kind of being just about at the end of it, and we're going to get into UCF and Florida Gator football again here coming at the end of the week, my vacation has just started today
Woo! Wow.
for a good 8 days where I
Oh.
do not have to wait on people. I don't have to throw drinks at people. I don't have to answer questions like, how is it on your patio? How is it on the parking lot you just came in from? This steak is a little bit too pink. My mashed potatoes are ice cold. If I hear my mashed potatoes are ice cold one more time, I'm gonna bring an ice cube out to the table and be like, I
Can,
want you to feel this.
can you take the fizz out of my Coke, please?
Oh my God. Or add fizz to the Coke. No,
All right.
absolutely not. So, yeah, I'm on vacation. We're going to have some fun today.
Good.
Going to see if we can't make people laugh a little bit. And we are
Yeah.
going to get to rip on some of our favorite people from college football.
Like it.
What? Yeah, let's do it. So, top four. I'm going to start with you. It could be a player, it could be a coach, it could be a fan, anything to do with college football in any capacity. Your number one least favorite person. Go right ahead.
My number one is, without a doubt, Kirk Herbstreit.
Kirk Herbstreit. That's
This
a
guy
correct
is
answer.
such a tool. I mean,
Yeah.
the smile all the time. This guy started out as a quarterback at Ohio State, had a pretty good career in college. Um, didn't go pro, didn't do anything, decided to go and stay in Columbus and do a radio show. Because back in the day, there were no podcasts, so he had a radio show. I guess he offended too many people by criticizing some different things, and so he took his ball and family and went to live in Nashville. So that's where he is. He's living in Nashville right now. Um, this guy, he's the voice, the actual picture of ESPN. I mean, he does game day host. He's been not the host, but he's been on game day for as long as it's been on. He also does the number one game of the day for ESPN ABC now. He
Yeah.
does all these different things. He's even doing pro games now. I mean, this guy
Yeah.
is all over the board.
Yeah.
But this guy has never met anybody who's kind of lived up to what he thinks they should be living up to. I mean, this guy's just a tool.
I want everybody out there, if you can look it up and maybe put it in the comments, tell me if you can find his record in the 15 years or however long he's been on game day, his record when he picks games. Because I'm pretty sure it's under 500. Like all of them, they don't pick against the spread. They're just picking winners.
Yeah.
And he says his commentary was such, like, of course, he's so adamant about who's going to win, why they're going to win, who's going to have a big game. And he's wrong more than half the time. And now he brings his dog around. I'm a dog person. I'm a dog person. I like dogs. You do not like dogs.
No. I like dogs as long as they're somebody else's. I don't want to take your dog. I don't want to deal with a dog. But he'll come like your dogs. I love them. They come over, they pet, they want to be loved. Great. Now go away.
You would not like my dogs. It's shedding season right now.
Oh.
I have a golden retriever and I have a black border collie. I have to vacuum like twice a week now. This is outrageous. My carpeting looks like a
A zebra?
zebra at times. It's it's absurd, but it's okay. It's a new feature. I think the dog's name is Ben, and he brings them. They show him on the camera all the time.
Yeah.
I'm a dog owner. Ben looks pretty bored to me. Ben almost looks like he wants to look at the camera and say, "Why am I here? Can I go back home and sit on my bed and play with my ball?"
Is this the comparison with the camera on Ben to the pro looking in the box and seeing Taylor Swift? Is it kind of like the same thing? I mean, they have to show Taylor Swift has nothing to do with the game, okay? And then they got to show Ben, who has nothing to do with the game.
That's a fair comparison. I don't like it. I'm going to say it's passable,
All
but
right.
I don't like it. But yeah, Kirk Herbstreit, total buffoon. Do not like him. He's good looking, I guess, so that's why he got the job. But for the most part, he doesn't know what he's talking about at
No,
all.
no.
And he's all over the place. Now he's talking about the NFL as if he knew how to play in the NFL. No, I'm with you on the mute button. Okay, so my number one, your number one was Kirk Herbstreit. My number one is a college football coach, none other than Dabo Sweeney. And I don't know if his last name is Sweeney, Swami,
Whatever the hell
Samsonite.
his name is, yeah.
Don't care. He's had some success at Clemson. He's got 2 titles. He had a
Yeah,
really nice role going there for a while.
yeah,
I think that role is over
yeah.
now. I think that bloom is off the rose. There's even former Clemson players calling for a change, like DeAndre Hopkins of the Titans calling for a change. He's a Clemson guy. The reason why I don't like him, though, is that from the opening whistle to the end of the game, this guy bitches, whines, and complains about every single call. He is the equivalent of college football as Coach K used to be in
Oh,
college basketball.
just perfect comparison. Perfect.
To the point where I don't even know why Dabo has a headset. He has no time to offer input on offense. He has no time to give plays for defense or strategy advice on special teams. From the get-go, he's just complaining about referees, and then he'll bring a referee and he'll point at the video board, and he has to see he's wrong 98% of the time, yet he'll still complain. This guy, I can't stand him.
I agree.
You're
I agree 100%. This guy, it's like he gives you that look to he gives that look to the referee like, what was that? Listen, stop it. Just coach your team, would you? You got enough problems coaching that team right now, okay? Hey,
yeah.
Trevor Lawrence isn't your quarterback anymore, okay? He's
No,
having enough trouble already in
no,
Jacksonville.
he was good in college, but yeah. Um, you said something when we talk about this every now and then. It's just not good for any sport. It's not good for the youth of America. Just stop. We complain about referees, but we don't do it on TV. We don't do it in their
Right,
face. We're not
right.
ripping them apart, swearing at them at the top of our lungs. Like, just, they're going to make mistakes here and there, as many mistakes as you're going to make in a game. So just lay off the refs and coach your team.
You know, with him personally, I'd like to have all coaches, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, I don't care what it is, umpires, whatever it is. You get one time to complain, okay? Just go ahead and complain. If it was a bad call, it's a bad call, okay? Second time you call, you're gone, okay? We have to stop this. It's the worst in basketball. The
Oh,
worst.
in NBA, when there's a whistle blown, there's like
Oh.
7 guys waiting to talk to the ref on both teams.
Well, in
It's
the NBA, nobody's ever committed a foul.
ever. I don't even know why they have referees there.
All right.
All right, so
Enough of him.
you're number 2.
Well, I'm going to be another announcer. I'm going to stretch it a little bit. Another announcer, Joe Buck.
Oh,
I am so sick of the sanctimonious Joe Buck. Oh my God. This guy thinks, well, first of all, his head's exploding because he thinks he knows everything there is to know. Listen, I
it
think
barely
that,
fits on the screen. Yeah,
oh my God, it's
yeah,
you know, and he's got a tremendous guy with him, the color guy, Troy
yeah,
Aikman. Here's a guy who
yeah,
played the game, understands, got a couple Super Bowls, you know, is the Hall of Fame. And he even questions him sometimes. I mean, give
yeah.
me a break.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Joe.
Friggin' Buck.
Not one of my favorites.
Yeah.
He does this thing every time that he announces Troy Aikman. He'll say something about the game. Then let me bring in Troy Aikman. And Troy, your thoughts on the Cowboys this year? And then he'll look back at the camera and smile and nod. I mean, I know they're trained to do that, but he does it all the time, and it's so annoying. He's good at what he does. He's very articulate. I'm trying to learn how not to use the same words over and over. He's very good at that.
He's another guy. Turn the sound down so I don't have to listen to him.
Yeah, the mute button is very important when Joe Buck is on the
Yeah.
call. All right, so that was your second. My second is he's not a coach, he's not a player, he's not even a broadcaster. He's just a media personality
Yeah.
for SEC Network. He's old
Paul
baldy.
Feinbaum. Paul
Paul
Feinbaum.
Feinbaum. He's got his
Yeah.
own show, SEC Nation or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
There's no chance this guy ever played football,
No.
much less SEC.
No.
He went to Alabama, right?
That's correct.
Good for you. Did you play football there, Paul? No. You were in the stands like the rest of us. I'm not sure how he ever got popular. He's monotone like our guy Billy Napier. I guess he talks well, he speaks well, but I think he became prominent with all his call-ins. The viewers that will call in have way better sound bites than he does.
He has a loyal following, a very loyal following.
Why?
I guess you know what it is? As much as I don't like listening to him and his opinions and all that stuff, he does at least let the caller go all the way to the end and never cuts him off. Then he cuts him off after he's done and makes fun of him.
I haven't really watched him that much, and the reason why is because I'll turn him on and like 45, 46 seconds in, I'm like, yeah, this guy's annoying, he's boring, and there's no chance he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah,
so I'll turn it off. But so that was my two, Paul Feinbaum. So once again, this is the A-hole All-Americans, our Mount Rushmores. Pops, you had Kirk Herbstreit, Joe Buck, and your number 3 is...
Well, we're going to go to a player now. We're going to go to an All-American college player, an All-Pro NFL player, a Major League Baseball player. Okay?
Oh, I think I know. Yeah.
And it's prime time. Deion Sanders.
From Chomp time to prime time, Deion Sanders. Please, spew some venom on Deion.
Listen. This guy is one of the greatest two-time both way playing player. You know, playing offense, playing defense. This guy, Hall of Fame, he should be. I mean, because of what he's created. I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame yet. Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Probably.
Well, if he isn't, he should be. This guy is an athlete, no doubt about it. But there's a lot of stuff that comes with this guy, okay, as far as what trails him at being prime time. I mean, he marketed himself right out of Florida State really well, and he's made a fortune doing this stuff. The problem with prime time is he says one thing and does another. He always touts about how he wants to give everybody a chance. You could talk about a little bit about when he wanted to coach college football, nobody was going to give him a head coaching job right away.
Well, listen, I got to cut in here because he was on my list. I was going to keep him for last because I really wanted to rip into him. So I'm going to kind of take your number 3 and move in here. Deion Sanders is a major hypocrite. We're all humans. We're all hypocrites.
Yeah.
But there are differing degrees, and his hypocrisy is staggering. This guy, after he played and after he did some NFL Network stuff, he decided he wanted to be a coach. Good for you. It's your life. Do whatever you want. But he didn't want to go through the ranks. He didn't want to earn his stripes as an assistant. No, he wanted to be a head coach. So nobody wanted to hire him as a head coach except for Jackson State gave him an offer, an HBCU, historically black college university. Fine. Good for you. So he takes the job at Jackson State, and he goes all in with, the black population. Listen, I don't care what color skin he has. I don't care what color skin anyone has, but I got to get racial a little bit. He went all in on all black players have turned their back on their culture and their historically black colleges and universities and their people. And they go to the Power Five schools like Florida or Nebraska or USC.
Georgia, Alabama.
Georgia, you all need to start going to HBCUs and build up this, not only Jackson State, but the entire,
Yeah.
league.
Yeah.
And so they're competing with everyone. And so that's how he brought in recruits. And he was very successful. He's a very successful promoter,
Yeah.
self-marketer, very
Yeah.
good. And that's what you got to do as a college coach. But he then so he brought in Travis Hunter, the
Number one player in high school his senior year.
Consensus all across the board. Everybody wanted him. And he got him to go to Jackson State. He even took him away from Florida State. And a bunch of other guys he got to go there. His son as a quarterback and a bunch of other highly ranked recruits. The second he had an offer, he did well, won some games. The second he had a chance to make more money, he goes and leaves and goes exactly what he told his players and recruits not to do, which is turn his back on an HBCU. He goes to Colorado. And the thing about Colorado that bothers me is he had zero ties to Colorado. He didn't have a son playing there. He didn't have a father coaching there. He didn't have a daughter, playing volleyball there. He went to Colorado, a Power Five school that's not an HBCU. And what does he do? He takes his best recruits from Jackson State and goes to Colorado and brings them with to Colorado. I'm bringing my baggage, and it's Louis, he said. And there's people out there that will say, well, he did a ton for HBCUs. He did for about a year and a half.
Yeah,
but I think in the end, he's going to do more harm than good for HBCUs because he blew through there and left them in the dust, left them in the past.
Right.
And if there was one dude, I actually appreciated his mission, because if there's one guy that could do it, it would probably be him with all his personality. He had tons of money. He probably coming into that shouldn't have needed, but he wasn't in the spotlight enough there. He needed to be in the spotlight. I just think he's such a hypocrite.
He's a hypocrite.
So
he is. He's just a hypocrite.
But
I'll give him his due. Great player. But it's one thing being a great player, and it's another thing saying and doing the same thing. And he didn't do it.
I don't know how they're going to end up this year at Colorado. Last year they ended up being 4-8, losing their last 7 games or something.
Yeah.
He doesn't appear to be that great of a coach. He's a very good recruiter for sure. I think he's going to end up at Florida State next year.
Yeah.
Because Florida State started off 1-4, and even though they had a 13-0 record last year, which ended up in humiliation against Georgia, 63-3 or something.
Yeah.
I think Norville is officially on the hot seat because they look atrocious. And the guy he brought in, DJ, that was former Clemson, then Oregon State, and now a quarterback for Florida State, looks awful. If they go 2-10, they lose to Florida, he's out. And Deion will be out of college.
Yeah. Well, his kid and Hunter are all going pro. Hunter should be, at this point, he's my Heisman Trophy winner right now. He should be 1 or 2 in the draft. Right there with Cam Ward, for Miami. I mean, it's already in the stars that he's going to go to Florida State. Come on, it's right there.
I think so, and I don't think he's got anybody recruit-wise to back up the guys he's losing in Colorado. So,
well, Florida State. Let me just give you the last 2 games that they played offensively against Cal, which they have their only one victory. They gained 284 yards. Against who did they just play this last week? Somebody that had never played an ACC team ever, and I forget exactly who it was. Southern Methodist, SMU. Okay?
SMU, yeah.
They had 294 yards. Florida State. They can't even get to 300 yards.
They're not. They're going to be right with Florida with bad records.
Let me go to number 4.
Well, no, I would like to go to my number 3.
Oh, you go to number 3 then.
All right, so you had Kirk Herbstreit, Joe Buck, and Deion Sanders. I had Dabo Sweeney, Paul Feinbaum, and my number 3 is an announcer. We'll go over him quickly because I don't like him at all. This announcer's name is Joe Tessitore. Tess, they call him Tess. He did Monday Night Football for like a year until they realized he sucks. Joe Tessitore,
give me a little of Joe. Give me a little of Joe.
I will give you an impression of Joe because The main reason I don't like Joe Tessitore is that every single play of every game is the greatest thing that's ever happened. So, for instance, somebody comes out to punt, somebody makes a punt. This is Joe Tessitore on the call of a punt. Do you believe that 48-yard punt, that 5.1 second hang time, the return was only 6 yards for a 46 net yard punt? Can you believe how great that punt was? It's just ridiculous. Every single play. So that was my number 3. Now you can go on to your number 4.
Well, I'm going to go really off the board here, and I'm going to take an entire network.
An entire network.
Entire network. ESPN.
I agree wholeheartedly.
So sick of ESPN. You know, we got ESP1, ESPN2, whatever.
News,
I mean, they have all these different things going on. And the thing is, what really irritated the hell out of me, we all know everything is always about money. It's always about money.
Sure.
So to me, every Saturday when I was watching SEC, it was CBS and the SEC. Okay? So last year, ESPN, ABC, Disney, all one company, outbid CBS. So now they have the SEC. It's not the same.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, say what you want about Vern Lundquist. Gary Danielson, tremendous analyst.
Yeah.
He would tell you exactly what is. And Gary's been doing this for 30 years, knows everything's going on. I mean, these two guys made it fun to watch the SEC. I'll give you the comparison, okay? Watching Vern Lundquist and Gary Danielson, because we're from the Chicagoland area, is like watching Harry Carey and Steve Stone. Harry was all out there and spectacular this and that, and then Steve had to bring him down and give him the facts and all this stuff. Real similar to these two guys.
Yeah, I agree. We used to watch SEC together a lot, and whether we were in a different house, we'd be watching SEC. And back when Florida was good, we were usually the marquee game. And their top team was Gary Danielson and Vern Lundquist. I never really liked Vern Lundquist as a play-by-play guy. I liked him more with the Masters and golf.
Yeah.
But he was fine. Gary Danielson, I always told you, I thought was the fairest commentator out there.
Yeah.
And the one thing about those two, they always came to the game with their homework done.
Prepared.
They knew everything about every player on each team, their previous games, what to expect, what's probably going to happen. ESPN puts on a good production, but
it's about ESPN to them. Everything is promoting ESPN. I'm sick of it.
It is, and it's not so much SEC, and their announcers are all across the board. And there's oftentimes I'll be watching a Florida game now, and a announcer will say that. I'm like, that's absolutely incorrect what you just said. And you wouldn't say that with Danielson or Vern Lundquist. So,
who do you got for number 4?
As a network is a correct answer. So this was the A-hole All-Americans. Our Mount Rushmores each. Pop's 4 was Kirk Herbstreit, Joe Buck, Deion Sanders, and the whole network of ESPN. Mine were Dabo Sweeney, Paul Feinbaum, Baldy, Joe Tessitore, Mr. Sensationalism. And then my 4th was going to be Deion Sanders, but I'm just going to go a little bit down, just a touch below him. His son, Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, I don't know much about this guy. I don't watch much Colorado football. But I did come across a story that when they beat Colorado State at the end of the game, he refused to shake the hand of the Colorado State quarterback.
I saw it.
And his whole thing was, I heard you on Instagram. You don't F with me, blah, blah, blah. So he didn't shake somebody's hand. Talk about hypocrisy and the apple not falling far from the tree. And his dad, you won't shake somebody's hand because they talk trash to you on Instagram? You're Shedeur Sanders. I'm pretty sure that every single Colorado State player that shook your hand after you beat them was somebody that you talked trash to heavily during the game. Probably about their family, about themselves personally, about how bad of a player they are during the game or how bad they were earlier in the season. And you won't shake a guy's hand because he talked trash to you? Are you out of your mind, Shedeur Sanders?
Listen, There's been a couple of quotes this week that I'll bring up. One of the quotes I think that is kind of apropos today to this generation of players, whether it be NFL or college football. Okay, and this was the exact quote. I thought stressful was not having Super Bowl rings, so there was a mindset of a champion that I took to work every day. If I wanted to have fun, I would have gone to Disneyland with my kids. Do you know
That
who
is
said that?
Tom Brady.
That is
It's Tom
correct,
Brady.
sir. And he was quoting basically going after Mayfield when Mayfield made some comments about there was a stressful situation in Tampa Bay after he left. And I'm thinking, listen, how many rings do you have on your finger, Mr. Mayfield? How many teams have you been to begging to get a job? This guy came to Tampa Bay in 2 years. First year, won a Super Bowl, and this guy's got 7 of them, okay? Don't talk anything about the GOAT, Tom Brady.
Yeah, we all want to have fun at work, and that's fine to have fun here and there, but
It's a job.
I think being at the top of your game and winning 7 Super Bowls, which will never be done again, was
Right.
probably a hell of a time and a lot of fun. And to get to that point, to get to have your fun, you got to put in a ton of work to get to that point. So yeah, I don't know where you came up with that quote in association with Shedeur Sanders. Kind of left field. I like it though. So I'll bring another thing out of left field.
Well, the reason I brought it up there is because the difference between a kid today that has no respect and Tom Brady who has nothing but respect.
Yeah, okay, I like it. You tied that in pretty well. And talking about no respect for where the world is currently, I'm going to throw in a special mention that wasn't in our top 4, either one. Wide receiver Ryan Williams of Alabama.
Hey,
Huge game recently over the weekend. They had Alabama was at home against Georgia, and this is a 17-year-old kid, a true freshman, outstanding player. He was born very fast, very athletic. Last couple of years, he's probably worked on it, become faster, but worked on getting good at catching a ball and making different routes. But he had eye black on, Pops. And his eye black, they zoomed in on it on the telecast. And it said, kill everybody.
Yeah.
Listen, we were Florida Gator fans long before even Tim Tebow. When Tim Tebow started wearing the eye black and the Bible verses, there's probably people as upset about what Ryan Williams had on his eye black.
But he's not asking to kill anybody.
No. But kill everybody. Have a little. How did no coaches say, nah, you maybe want to take that off? None of his teammates, not even him, his parents. The thing that I don't like about that is where we are as a planet. I personally believe we are closer to World War III than we've ever been. I hope that's not the case, but it certainly seems like the Middle East is taking it up even another notch as to where it's been the last year. And Ukraine, Russia's not going away. And you have the gall and just the naivety to put on your eye black, kill everybody. And another thing that bothers me about that, Pop, now that I'm kind of raising up to 7, 8, 9, 10. I read a couple articles today about that to make sure that I got the eye black. I didn't know if it was kill everyone or everybody. It was kill everybody. The 3 articles I read, that they were all basically defending him. Oh, all 3 said, we think it's probably in reference to a movie, The Program, which came out in 1993. This Ryan Williams was born in 2007. I'm not even sure he's seen that movie, but they're all it's probably from The Program, where there was a scene where in the movie a linebacker, a fierce linebacker, is watching film and they're asking him about his, what he does on this play. Well, I killed the quarterback there. I hurt the tight end so bad that his girlfriend feels it. And on this play, I kill everybody. No, that's probably not what he was doing. Even if he was referencing that, it's still wrong to do. And I don't want to limit free speech. I know you've got a thing where you want to get rid of all eye black. You want to get rid of all.
Here it is. Here it is. The NCAA rules book is like this thick, okay? It's nonsense. It's nonsense. But here's the thing. Patches were spent for one thing. We're there for one thing. to reflect the sun from the eye so that you can see it better and all this other stuff. Listen, these people have black all the way down their faces. They have it on one side of their face. Listen, stop putting all this different stuff in there.
That does, but see, that stuff doesn't bother me, and
And
even you know, Bible verses don't bother me. Even little stupid like they put their area codes on there, or
I'm just telling you what I think.
I'm
I don't
telling
like
you that one of the best parts of this country is freedom of speech.
Yes.
So you don't want to cut away freedom of speech, but also,
But this is a job. This is not
yeah,
freedom of speech as far as freedom of speech only works so far. You have a job, okay, or you got a scholarship, whatever the hell you want. There's limits within there of what you can say and what you can't say, okay?
yeah.
Because you're with somebody else. Anyway, that's another day.
So yeah, that was our a-hole All-Americans. You had Herb Street, Joe Buck, Deion Sanders, ESPN as the network. I had Dabo Sweeney, Paul Feinbaum, Joe Tessitore, and Shador Sanders with a special mention for Ryan Williams. And I guess a special mention for Baker Mayfield being a
Yeah.
tool.
Yeah.
He was associated
Tool.
with college football quite
Another
a bit.
tool.
Let's end the episode with our least favorite mascots. Let's keep it negative. So your least favorite mascots in the college football
That
world?
stupid Indian chief Osceola of Florida State. Give me a break. I mean, everything that's going on in the world, we got a guy dressed up as an Indian with a spear, with a lit spear, and going down to the 50-yard line. I mean, give me a break.
I'm offended. I don't think that guy is an
Yes.
Indian. I
I
think
don't
he's
think he is
wearing
either.
Indian face. There was a long time for sure he was just a white dude wearing Indian face. I'm offended.
All right,
What else?
Number two, this Notre Dame leprechaun, okay?
Yeah.
Stop it. Just
I'm offended with
Stop it.
that too. Little people should be offended with that. Yeah. Little people are just like us. They're just smaller. Go
Yeah.
ahead. What else?
Number
What else
three.
you got that I can be offended by?
Stanford Cardinal, not Cardinals, Cardinal,
No.
and their mascot's a tree.
Why?
Hey,
Why?
I can go even farther than that. Auburn, Tigers or War Eagle? Which one is it? You only get one.
Yeah, War Eagle. I never got that. There's probably a story behind it, but I don't care. I hate Auburn. I don't care what the story is. You're stupid. Your mascot is a tiger. It's not an eagle. Oh,
There you go.
An eagle flies down from the stadium. So you abuse the eagle to make him fly down and train him. Good for you.
Hey, you got one for me?
Yeah, you took a couple of mine. The one you didn't take is just the big Syracuse orange. Just the big. He's just a big orange dude, and he's got a hat on. They used to be the Orange Men, but no. People are offended by Orange Men. I'm guessing maybe the Trump family, maybe Donald Trump himself was offended by the Orange Man. I would think that Donald Trump would like a school having him as the mascot, but I feel like every college and university at some point is going to just have colors as their mascots. And of course, not black and white, but just colors so nobody's offended. So I came up with a couple, Pops.
Yeah.
You're going to see at some point in the near future, you're going to see the Sheboygan State olive drab greens. You're going to see the East Mumford chartreuse. Or how about the South Fordham magentas? It's just ridiculous.
Hey, Crayola's got a box of crayons that have 128 different colors.
Yeah.
Can we give each university a color and say that's your new color? And that's your
Yeah,
new
I mean, Florida State's going to have to give up Seminoles at some point. They might be the Florida State Coral Pinks, something like that. That'll be good for them. So anyway, that's going to do it for us today. I am Mike. That is Pops. This was the Chomp Time Podcast. This was episode 11, the A-Hole All-American, something we know quite a bit about. We are A-Holes ourselves, so if anybody should speak on A-Holes, it's us.
There you go.
I'm on vacation, Pops. I'm probably going to do a little housework, yard work, maybe get my hair cut. I've thought about going to a casino, but I think I'm going to save that $1,000 and just spend it on myself.
That's
so
a good
I was
idea.
going to come down to Florida, but the dogs, I couldn't find anything. So anyway, I'm going to have fun. And thanks for joining me today, buddy.
Yes, sir.
So until Friday, we'll have an episode on Friday. We're going to talk about the UCF game. But until Friday, come on, Gators.
Get up and go.
Take care, everybody.